Once Khan Janibek asked bees, "What is eternal?" Bees replied in one voice, "Eternal is the flow of the river, eternal is the mountain peak, eternal is the black earth." Zhiren Shizhen, who has been silent, came forward and said, "Eternal is the death of the river under the winter's ice. It is the death of the mountain peak behind the clouds. It is the death of the sun and the moon, the death of the black earth under the snow. The fate of people and things, only Allah knows one, and what is really eternal. Eternal is the name of virtue, eternal are the endeavor of a scientist."
The other day, my friend Bex showed me a parable that she said reminds her of her home country, Kazakhstan. And the question, of course, followed, what reminds me of India? There are, of course, many things that reminds a person of their home country, and it's really hard to write down a few things off the top of your head. The obvious things are the food, the music, the language, the culture, and the environment. Of course, you are born in it, you are grown imbibing all these things which now define you. But thinking of it, what really reminds me of India, apart from all these obvious things like music, food, and language, is, for the lack of a better word, silliness. I meet people from India here, and I notice this distinctly among us. We are kind of silly. By silly, I mean we laugh at the most serious things in life. Perhaps that is also the reason there doesn't seem to be a solution to a lot of problems in India. But looking at an individual level, I think it's a great strength. It exhibits an attitude of giving more importance to the oneness of the group you're in than your own personal needs. This is the reason for joint families to work in India too. It's the identification of oneself through a group or a family or a country, while maintaining your own individuality. This is also the reason India thrives as one country, sustaining such mind-boggling diversity. It's not because there is a strong reason to unite the people. It's simply because we don't need a reason to be one. There are, of course, conflicts, but in the end, everyone knows that we are just too silly to take the differences too seriously. So, whenever I see diversity, I get reminded of India. I think of India every day living in the dorm because I see people from many different places. I cannot think of one symbol or one color to remind me of India. But thinking of what I get reminded of when I think of India, I think of the painting I made as a boy. It's just an empty farm field with a dried up tree, a few birds, and a girl working on the field. But it signifies hope, and it encodes in it, to me, all the essence of me growing up in India, experiencing the diversity, the silliness, and at the same time seriousness of wanting to develop and to be a better country. The painting itself doesn't show any diversity or all the things that I talked about, but it carries with it the memories of me growing up and experiencing India.
This culture for me is like the blush of our rich ancient history and as a symbol of freedom, justice, and great courage. Also, you can see in the picture steppes, fields, and sky, as I associated it with the wide green field in Ukraine.
I wanted to show that how peaceful the nature is and how stupid the cities are in our country.
So, hey Terence, where are you from?
I come from the US.
That's interesting. Where from in the US?
I come from O'Fallon, Missouri.
Oh, nice. I have a question for you. What do you think, what flashes in your mind when you first think of United States?
Christianity. And, home, I guess. Freedom, liberty, and justice for all. I think of a place where one has the freedom to do what he wants, without being punished. You can do what you want, believe in what you want, not necessarily do what you want, but yeah. But when I think of home, it's very special, and the cool thing is that. But when one says, "What do I think of the United States?" I think of a country where there are a lot of people, a divided country at that. There are two different sides, and two people, one a lot of people tend to view things from only their point of view. So if you're from one nationality, you only see things from that point of view. So if you're, for instance, black guy, you see it only from a black person's point of view, but you don't see it from the white person's point of view. If you're a white person, you don't see it from the black person's point of view. And that is basically one of the reasons why there's a lot of conflict going on in America. Why America's divided at the moment. But I don't know. But I think there's a lot of things that need to change.